Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. And if you are excited about the topic we are about to unfold, then I think you're right because this is something that is really worth uh, understanding, and not only just understanding, but making sure that we have it in our soul because this is at the very heart of what business is in general. So before I go on into the topic of what is it that I'm trying to talk about, I want to share with you the following. This is called the total addressable market. It's a market distribution of how any industry is actually divided into the into the purchasing process. At the very top, we found 3% that are always ready to buy now. It doesn't matter if you sell cars, if you sell pharmaceuticals, if you sell whatever you sell, they are always at the very top of the pyramid. These people, a very small category of people who actually are willing and want and are educated and aware and want to buy now. 17% are still into information gathering mode, which is still important. 20% are problem aware, which is very important, and 60% not even aware. So why does this matters? It matters because everybody is trying to go sell to the 3%. And this is where there is a lot of blood. It's a bloody ocean because everybody is telling you this is my product and it's the best thing that ever happened. And this is why it's very competitive. The market, it feels like it's very saturated. And at the end of the day, you feel that there is no hope whatsoever that you're going to be able to pull it up and become a master in this market. But once you shift your focus and start delivering more content and putting more content, and this is why content is actually important because this is how we are able to get this 17 and the 20%, which represent 37% of the whole market, who have serious potential, but they are not ready. They happen not to be ready at the very specific moment. But if we are able to help them understand, first create that awareness, create the attention, make sure that they are well nurtured, they understand the value, and they understand what we are about, then eventually, once uh, that information simmers and that it's germinated and people are confident about who you are and the value that you're giving them, at that moment they will feel compelled to reach out themselves and tell you, hey, I'm interested in what you're talking about, can we have a talk? And this is why we want to make sure that we are putting together not just uh, we need to have tools that not just address the 3% market where there is actual sales because we want a piece of that pie, but we want to also have a possibility to get those 17 and 20% in the back burner lined up so that once the conversation started and once they feel comfortable, then we can easily move them into buyers and get them to get to tell us, yes, I'm interested. And this is why I when I spoke earlier, I think this week, I gave an example for me about my dream customer being Marcus, a gentleman whose name is Marcus. Marcus lives in Boston. He commutes between his work for 30 minutes every day. He has two kids. He graduated like 10 years ago, and he's been moving from one job to another. And this is the last job that he really feels comfortable and where he is really happy. The problem is, Marcus is also aware of the fact that you can't trust the corporate and everything can happen in the blink of an eye, and he can put his family in a situation that he won't be happy about. So this thought is always in the back burner somewhere, sitting and always thinking about it. He knows, Marcus knows he has a problem. He knows his employer coverage is limited. He knows his job security is not guaranteed. And all this occupies big parts of his thinking while driving alone. And every time he ruminate, no, he thinks about I was thinking about a special word. He thinks about this in a very consistent manner, and once you are able to, if we did the job right from the beginning, and if we selected Marcus as our dream customer, and we build an audience based on Marcus's profile, and we started delivering content that tackles these kind of pain points, then eventually when Marcus will sit down with himself one day and he sees some of our posts that speak about a scorecard or a lead gen, and he'll feel compelled to ask us for some information, and that's the beginning of the conversation. What I'm doing here is I'm giving you a theory, and I'm associating it with reality. I'm giving you the theory of how things works in general on paper, but also I'm giving you an example, a real example of how this translates into reality, and why it is important to have both tools in order to. Now, the interesting thing is that there is no such thing as the perfect content. A content is a it needs to accumulate. It's an ensemble of work that happen to build each other and for the long term, and eventually once the person is ready to pull the trigger, then that last piece of content maybe is the one who played the major role. But it's been because of the different kind of content we put out there that we were able to create that interest that happened to show at the end of the day. So this is very important we understand. I'm not saying that putting these value content and here's how to cover your loved ones, blah, 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 these are not good. I'm saying that it is very important that we do the homework from the beginning in order to really get access to the maximum possible of the 3%, the 17%, and the 20%. And if we add all these percentage together, we have 10, we have 17 plus 20, 37 plus 3. That means 40% of the market is will have access to them. That's an amazing thing, because our content will be able to believe shift, will be able to deliver value, will be able to create lead generation, and will be able to present core offers. And the offer content is exactly destined to speak to people who happen to be ready at that particular time. The lead generation is delivered to specifically to people who happen to be in the 70%, because they only need one small details before they can commit. The belief shifting content is for people who happen to be in the 20% bracket. And you see how every single aspect of our business is well connected and makes perfect sense. Okay, so what else I forgot? Let me check. Do you guys have any questions? Please feel free to put them below. I'll be more than happy to do that. So in terms of what we are able to, why this matters for you, if you have a business, if you are a financial advisor or life insurance, this is important because now you have a tool that can help you create all this in a fingertip, with one snap of a finger. And this is a tool called Agent Ignite. Once you feed the tool with all the information that we spoke about, because it's tailored to ask you these kind of questions, and before it delivers you not even one single post, it will ask you exactly who is your dream customer, what do they look like, where do they look, where do they live, how do they live. It asks you all kind of questions. Who's calling me? Happening now. Okay, that's me. I'm doing the live. All these kind of questions, and by the end of the day, once you fill out, or once you feed the Agent Ignite these information, you can wake up in the morning. You already did homework around what pain points. You have the list of pain points, and you just deliver Agent Ignite. Tell him, write me a post on a value post or belief shifting post on this specific pain, and it will deliver in less than a minute. Is this unique? Yes, it is unique, because not all AI are fed and built the same way. And this was built exactly to help you solve this specific issue, which is to help you generate FINRA content compliant. Second, thank you so much for your like, appreciate it. It helps you generate FINRA compliant content. It helps you generate DM messaging that respects the sequential of a conversation, and not only that, it's not used. It's obvious it's not done by a bot, but also it's strategic because it helps people feel comfortable, then move them into, move them to the next step by giving leading with value. Then once they get back with us, they consume the value, then we ask them for a specific question which called the scorecard about their pain points. We score it. Is it now, in the middle, or in the future? And then based on that, we deliver the right offer. So everything is well crafted: the content, the messaging, the KPI. These are the three core of what this Agent Ignite can deliver for you. It's an amazing thing. It's really amazing. Now, there are 29 sub features that comes to support. There is a lot of psychology involved. I mentioned that before. I put a lot of research that was done by a doctor in 1920s, in the 20s, where he did specific research on life insurance agents and what is the and how we can sell them. And he found out a set of ideas that can deliver that. And this is one of, and we implement all those ideas into the Agent Ignite. So it's really complementary tools that can help you do everything while having a peace of mind, not worrying about if you are compliant with FINRA or not. Okay, with that being said, have a good day. Please make sure to leave your comments or questions. And if you wanted to join us inside the Agent Ignite, please do so. I will link the link below in the comments. Bye-bye.